What?
Thank you very much to Jake and the boys on the desk for prefacing this matchup, as always doing an incredible job. But Dev, heading into this one, I don't know your thoughts, but I'm expecting a very entertaining match. 2 big teams, 10 big players, and I think the videos played out very interestingly as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We always get a show when it's 2 big Japanese teams. Sengoku have been gunning for this opportunity to get into APAC North all year long. They had a fantastic run through the Japan League, and they're looking to take the spots from their rivals in FAV.
Well, let's jump into the first map in this best of 3, the first of the APAC North qualification matches here in the promo relegations. Let's see which team can get a head start in this series. We head over to the band phase. Let's see how this one plays out.
Should be a great one. Ramu saying good luck in the chat. Ramu has been such an impactful player for Sengoku. Those who have been Rainbow Six fans for a long time, maybe you watched Six Invitationals of 2019 or prior, you might remember Ramu and as well Graciel, who plays for Sengoku. Both of them were on that Norengo roster when they were at the height of their power, back when Japan really had a team to look forward to make consistent top 4 at international events like the Six Invitational. So those guys are coming with a lot of experience, and they're massive impact players that FAV are going to have to watch out for. FAV themselves have their fair share of big names and players with a lot of experience. Particularly, I'm talking about players like Shin, who, funnily enough, Shin actually was the captain of the very first team to win an APAC finals way back in 2017. So a lot of history and a lot of rivalry between these 2 Japanese giants.
Yes, you definitely did not have facial hair back then, James. In fact, I don't even know if your voice had broken by that stage. But in terms of the bands heading into this one, Dokkaebi Flores off the board first. Dokkaebi, a bit of an interesting ban. We don't often see her taken out, and that does impact some of the ability for attackers to sweep the map and roam clear, of course. Flores pretty expected. Deployable shields are very popular here on this particular map. And defensively, Valkyrie, we're seeing that constantly throughout competitive siege across all regions at the moment. So potent, and Kaid very, very versatile in being able to deny a lot of walls. So I think the ban phase has set us up nicely here. FAV, of course, starting out on the attack, and Sengoku will head over towards Kitchen for the first defensive round.
I love some Chalet and the Kitchen bomb site in particular. It is such a free-flowing bomb site. Of all of the choices of objective on Chalet, it really feels like Kitchen is the one that has the most versatility. It's very much in a kind of central place on the map as much as you can get on Chalet, Kitchen and Dining. You don't have many external entry points. For example, Trophy is not a part of the bomb site, so you can't just jump in like you could, for example, on the Bar bomb site, even Master, which has an external door. So it means that this roam game is huge, and of course we see a lot of contest on this top floor. So we're really going to be testing FAV's roam clearing ability and their executing ability. Funnily enough, only picking a single hard breach in the Hibana, it seems a bit strange to me. No Ace and no Thermite just means that in terms of breaching, they're going to be pretty restricted. Hibana has the ability to make lots of breaches, but not many big ones. And usually you want to be breaching open the office walls and the dining walls, so they're going to have to be really careful about that utility.
Yeah, that tends to be the case, right? That sort of fork-like attack, the double-pronged approach where you get top control, prevent any defenders from denying the plant vertically, and then having that pressure from down below and the main door offering quite a bit of cover for the attack. So that is going to be a little bit more tricky with a singular hard breach, but not impossible, right? If Afro does play his cards correctly, plays that utility precisely, there's no reason why FAV can't go for that sort of execute. And I mean, putting that aside, right, they could go for something completely different to what we would typically expect on this objective. We will have to wait and see. As the lads on the desk mentioned, right, this is do or die for these teams. You're not going to be hiding anything at this stage. It's go for broke. There's no point in hiding or holding yourself back at all. Number 2 with a quick entry over towards Library, immediately shut down, not droned properly there. And it will be Neko from Sengoku to get the first pick in this match.
Neko has proven to be quite a prominent fragger for the Sengoku roster. Sereneko, you would have seen him on that roster, but number 2's also always been a big hitter for FAV, so him going down early is definitely of concern. No trade as well. So many roamers from Sengoku still at large. We just saw the Oryx of Ramu, that impact player, roaming downstairs, and always FAV will have to be careful for a potential flank.
As we can see, that hard breach play up above here from Afro, looking to expose players upstairs inside of office. Shin, meanwhile, down below will drone with that shock drone and actually spot the elbow of Ramu. Drone eventually taken down, but Ramu forced to reposition over towards back stock, looking to try and survive a little bit longer, but he looks the wrong way. And it's Shin with the 417 to finally get a trade back here for FAV.
417 on Twitch, not something you see every day, but the DMRs seem to be coming more and more into the meta. Neko's about to find another freebie, and that is indeed the Twitch going down. Oh my god, another one! Neko's just gobbling up FAV. Only 2 players left on their side.
Razor looking to just straight up swing through the double window, it would appear, as Taipon holds over towards the Repel. A good entry there from the Lion, leaves it in a 2 versus 2. Yahoon looks to find the trade, but once again will be timed. Yellow pings in sight, Razor falls. Taipon now left in the 1v2 with 45 seconds to work with. Time not really of a concern, but the pinch could be. And there it is, Sengoku to finally clean up in round number 1.
Not a bad start there for Sengoku on their defense as well. The unfavored side here on Chalet, and might I add, not a bad start for you guys. I know it's been a long time since you've done the play-by-play. We decided about 20 seconds before we went live we were going to switch up roles. How'd you feel like it went?
Yeah, not bad. Look, I've had the privilege of working with Jake Vendetta Vendetti and learned a lot of his play-by-play skills, so I look to transfer those across. I don't think the first round was awful, so I guess we'll keep at it.
Pretty good, honestly. We could keep going like this, and
yeah, until I make a big mistake, I think we just we stay with it.
Hey, I'm nicer than Jake, so I won't throw you under the bus if you mess up.
That's nice. I will say that first round though was, for me, quite intriguing in which the way it played out for about the first minute and a half. I felt like every single one of those early engagements, the player that lost the engagement had seemingly no idea that they were being pushed, or the fact that they were walking into a line of sight, indicating that there was a weird lack of information for both sides, sort of in the majority of that round. Now, it could just be an oversight, it could be first round nerves, it could be teams just being a little bit antsy, but just interesting, I think, to note the way in which a lot of those engagements did play out. I'm keen to see if that is tidied up as the map progresses.
Now, guys, I know one of your favorite things to talk about on Chalet is the fact that teams keep picking this goddamn bomb site downstairs, and it is horrendous.
I wasn't going to say it.
What is Sengoku thinking, man? Like, didn't they do this exact same thing yesterday in the opening round of this match? And they just got rushed on the site. It was a bit of a dumpster fire. What are they thinking?
I wish I knew. I don't... Ooh, hold that thought, number 2, with a cheeky spawn peek denial there onto Ramu, so that's a good way to kick off the round. And I mean, looking back at the setup, I think Sengoku are trying to make the most of a poor bomb site by extending up above and preventing a lot of the shortfalls of that particular site from being exploited, right? Which is, of course, the north push from West Main. That can be very tricky to deny, or straight through the snowmobile garage itself. So by extending up above, they can try and retain some map control and prevent that from really overbombing their position. But with the player already falling, that's no doubt going to be even more tricky now, and puts a lot of pressure on the likes of Yahoon on this roam. So I don't know if it is going to be overly successful, but willing to be shown wrong, of course. You know I don't like this site, but it is what it is.
Looks like Sengoku are indeed still holding on to that roam as much as possible. Love the extension of the castle barricades just to try and protect some of these positions, particularly holding on to dining. I really like that with the open hatch in dining down onto that bomb site. FAV have no choice but to clear that dining position if they want to go for a one cell execute.
Razor looking to pressure that now with flash grenades. They'll be sent through. Taipon looking to follow, but needs to pop a lifeline over towards that west main double barricade, and that's the power of the castle, sinking some utility, sinking a little bit of time, and slowing down this push for FAV. It's creating a buffer towards Neko, looking to try and continually hold down this position. Number 2 has progressed elsewhere. That's near West Main. Yahoon gets timed. Oh, he misses the shot as well. Razor survives. Yahoon as well. Eventually elsewhere, Taipon will find that kill with the LMG, and things are going for bad for worse here for Sengoku. Eventually, though, Icon does bring one back. If Yahoon, oh my god, could have found that, it would have been a 3v3, but it's actually racial to even out the odds elsewhere.
This is actually now looking really good for Sengoku. The fact that Yahoon got completely ignored, but of course, his engagement will be so impactful. He doesn't realize that Shin is still loitering in West Main, just watching for any flanks, and with ICANN going down, it's Racial and Yahoon to hold on for Sengoku. Shin may have the perfect read here with the nade. The lit up player on the other side is going to go down. Now there's just 30 seconds with Racial, the only Sengoku player left.
UMP in hand, you'll hear that plant go down from Afro. Where's the coverage from FAV? Technically probably don't know it's a 1 versus 3, but they need to be cautious. It's Shin though to collect that one. A strong round there once again from the attack.
Good start for FAV there on that second round. Even though Sengoku came out strong in the first, FAV got back on their horse and they reeled it in. It wasn't looking great at first, like you mentioned. On that roam, Sengoku managed to achieve a decent amount of time delay, but FAV Gaming, like, not only did they have the early pick number 2 counter spawn peeking Ramu, but further into the round as well, FAV just kept finding those picks. They took that map control slowly and steadily. They picked Sengoku apart. That's going to be a 0% win rate so far for that wine cellar bomb site so far in this Relegations tournament, at least from the matches that we have watched. So I'm just going to say it. Don't keep going there.
I would agree. And that round didn't necessarily even highlight the typical exploits for that particular objective in terms of the exterior hard breach walls. It was Sengoku again trying to roam and go for something aggressive to prevent that from happening, eventually also being their downfall, losing that man early, only compiled into more and more pain and suffering really for the defense, who were being choked out by a really relentless roam clear from the attack. It was a good response there from FAV in the second round. We do just have a short pause in the action. I believe a bug was called from one of the members of Sengoku, so we'll just have a little bit of a technical break as we wait for that to be resolved. It does look like Bar will be locked in for the upcoming round, which is a little bit more expected on this particular map. If you're wondering why we're maybe basement haters, it is because there are other viable objectives on this particular map, and Bar, I don't know about you, I feel like whenever we play ranked, it's probably our favorite site because that default hold that has been popularized in competitive play is really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the bar meta has evolved a lot, though. The kind of default hold that you're talking about there with the shield at top library stairs, usually a shield at pillar on the mezzanine, and you're holding vertically, you kind of have a lot of good crossfires. Really good strategy. Starting to fall a little bit more out of meta playing it too rigidly, because the weakness is that with how the attack is right now, there's just so much utility, especially the introduction of something like Flores. Not only are you worried about projectiles coming through and just destroying your shield and nading you out of your position, but you're also worried about the Flores drones, and they can be really troublesome to shoot if you're worried about other things at once. So we're seeing teams be a bit more fluid, and in general, that's why I actually am kind of preferring the kitchen dining bomb site these days, which is the one that Sengoku won. You can play that with so much more freedom, and it does lean into more, gunfights and team play and good reads and flanks, rather than relying on more rigid, like, util position clearing, which Bar does lend itself to. In terms of the operator lineups that FAV have been bringing, they have so much freedom to nade out all of those positions. So I think Sengoku is going to have to be careful. Even if they do go full send, they get Goyo, Smoke, Frost, Wamaya, Jaeger, like, you go full shields and then catching utility, they're still going to struggle to actually fend off all of the FAV gaming utility that they'll have available. So it does partly come down to FAV and how good they are at using that utility, but this is why I think that Sengoku needs to really take Destiny into their own hands, try and play fluidly around it, always look for opportunities to exploit, opportunities to take fights if they think they're favorable, instead of just trying to sit rigidly behind their positions.
Well, it does look obviously like we're going to see Bar, right? And yes, Flores is banned. Do you think that's going to allow that opportunity to maybe play a little bit more rigid, or is it still going to be tricky, right? I know taking Destiny in your own hands and playing fluid might be an approach, but what does that actually look like, right? Because Chalet, at least in my opinion, is a map where sometimes you can go a little bit overboard on that aggression on the defense, and I guess last round being a bit of an example there, right? It can almost be your downfall if you play into the hands of the attack a little bit too much. So how do you try and strike that balance and ensure that you're not just sitting behind shields and being played with, but also not overextending and throwing away lives?
Yeah, look, it depends. Sengoku could just try and bank on just playing Wamai Jaeger and then shields, and then trying to just essentially play that rigid play style, forcing FAV, like you said, Flores ban. So pardon me, they're going to have to use flashes and other projectiles to clear the magnets, the ADSs, and then nades to follow through, or breaching rounds, whatever they decide to use to clear all the shields and clear the positions. Sengoku could just try and play like that, but then you're putting Destiny in FAV's hand. It's really more of a question of, do FAV have the correct process to deal with that utility? FAV are a good team when it comes to being methodical. They can make some strange decisions sometimes, FAV, but when it comes to just playing the textbook stuff, that's something that usually is a strength of theirs. So if it was me, Sengoku, I wouldn't play super rigid. I would try and make a couple of plays, mix things up a little bit, maybe do a bit of a roam. Also, another thing is just the meta of this bomb site is changing, not only on the attack, but the defense, but also the attack, right? So what we're talking about here is that more traditional office master clear, where you eventually work your way across and you clear the mezzanine positions, you clear the top library stairs. But a lot of teams these days are instead just avoiding that map control and kind of just taking everywhere else on the map and looking for opportunities with picks. We've seen a lot of players get Maverick and try and open up a tiny line from the bottom of Somerville stairs looking into stock and try and find a free pick that way. So if FAV goes for that, then it's going to be up to Sengoku to just play more reactively. It's hard to say exactly what they should do. It really depends on how FAV plays.
Yeah, for sure. If you are, of course, just joining, we are in the midst of a technical rehost scores. One apiece here on Chalet, the first map in this series. It's probably a good opportunity to roll this conversation over to predictions and expectations. Right? I know the desk had an opportunity to give their thoughts. We haven't probably dug into that just yet, but what are you expecting, Dev, heading into this one? I think personally, it's a tough one to call. I don't really see one team being extreme favorites over another. I have faith in Sengoku to make the run, but I think as well, we have to give props to FAV. They're still a strong team as well.
Yeah, both of these teams are very close rivals in the Japan League this year. Out of the regular season, Sengoku ended up second place, which is really punching above their weight, considering 4 of the teams in that league are already in APAC North. Above teams, including FAV. FAV ended up in 3rd place, so you can see both of those teams were very tight from the regular season results. FAV have had very mixed experiences. You know, APAC North Stage 1, they were 6th place, Stage 2, 4th place, so a little bit better. Stage 3, 8th place. They really dropped off towards the end. Sengoku have been more consistent, but have occasionally struggled when it comes to those really big, important games. For example, when it came to the Rainbow Six Japan Championship, which is a huge league, a huge tournament, I should say, that was run in Tokyo in a massive convention center, and Sengoku went out early to an underdog team and ended up only 9th to 12th in that tournament. They also bailed out early to an underdog in the 6th Invitational APAC North Open qualifier. They lost 7-1 to Donuts USG. So Sengoku have a history of losing important best-of-3 games and best-of-1 games, and that is where they find themselves right now. Of course, Sengoku could well earn their spot in APAC North. All they've got to do is win this match against FAV Gaming right now. But will the pressure get to them? It's very hard to say.
I'm reloading.
Well, the action does resume here for the 3rd round of Chalet. Maybe, again, just joined. It will be Chalet, Villa, and Oregon in that order. The first map being Sengoku's map pick, so we are expecting them to put in a strong performance here. They are on the defense though on Chalet, and statistics would suggest that sometimes it can lean a little bit towards the attack. So they're going to have to weather the storm a little bit here and try to hold on, try to find as many rounds as they can. Unfortunately, the last didn't quite go their way, but that's probably because basement is a poor objective, and I never want to see it in my life again. We do go over towards bar though here, and it is a pretty traditional extension. Reinforcements and utility placed up above here from the defense. How are FAV looking to try and deal with this one?
Oh, Taipon's found such a good position here on this window. Oh, number 2's actually sent it in. How are these picks just coming through so swiftly? FAV, not even halfway through the round, they turn it on, they make a push, and they make Sengoku look a little bit silly. Onus now on Ramu to make big on this flank because he is the only one left against 4.
Droned out, position revealed. Razor holds down the line. He finds the angle, hits the shot. Strong execute there from FAV. They seized an opportunity and they managed to get that round quite swiftly.
You're not going to lie, that really came out of nowhere for me. I was not expecting the rush, and kind of looked at the screen, saw all these picks going down, and was a bit clueless as to what was exactly happening. But credit to FAV. They are a team that they like to get in there when they see an opportunity, and they absolutely did that. It worked out fantastically for them. You really can't deny that. And, you know, we talked about, oh, is Sengoku going to play methodical? What are they going to do? FAV Gaming just, I think they saw that Sengoku weren't just hard holding a lot of the key positions, and FAV's like, hey, we can just get in there. And they did exactly that. It was phenomenal.
Really did come out of nowhere. I threw it to you expecting at least another 30 or 45 seconds of a bit of nothing, a bit of util clear perhaps as we would typically expect on that objective, but props to FAV. They sort of found a very small window of opportunity and propped it open, and that's, in my opinion, probably some of the best siege to watch, right, is when a team can find those small inklings of opportunity and exploit them. And when you're on the attack, the onus is of course on you to show that initiative and be able to break through the defense established by the opposition, and that's a positive sign for FAV. They now have a small lead heading into the 4th round. We head over towards bedroom for this particular one. Small extensions being executed here by Sengoku, looking to deny the likes of Library, and Solar as well being invested into. FAV will likely need to make one of two decisions, right? Do they go for the Library push, or do they go for Solar? I'm keen to see which they go for, because arguably they're both quite viable.
Despite their shortcomings, FAV are a team that have been together for a really, really long time. In fact, some of the players on this team have been together for as long as 3 years. Taipon, Shin, and Afro all together on this roster for 3 years and a month. Whereas the newest member of this team, K-Razor, he's still been on the team for nearly a year now. So FAV really...
Oh, what?
There's no way Neko won.
How did he win that?
I wasn't even going to comment on the angle, because I was like, well, this is just a free kill for Taipon. But then when Neko wins that, you've got to say something.
Imagine how frustrating that must be. A free kill just evaporating in front of Taipon's eyes. Not only compounds into a disappointing start for him, 1 and 4. That is not a confidence builder. That's a confidence destroyer, that one. A tilter for sure. Wow, that's incredibly harsh, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, and Neko will be counting his blessings.
Always seems to find himself in those situations, Neko does. Always seems to get away with something you really wouldn't have thought he could. Number 2's in the building. Already moved into Library. Yahoon really feeling that pressure, but Neko once again! 3 kills! This man is seemingly unstoppable. K-Razor misses a massive opportunity. Finally, Shin gets one for FAV Gaming, and a double here. He's in sight with the DMR in hand. I'm sure K-Razor would love to use one of his line scans right now, but it is gone all out, just like his teammates. A 1-on-2 now for the Lion.
The res, though, has been pulled off, so Neko's back, but low on HP. Razor looking to creep forward over towards Piano. Surely there's a crossfire established here. Do not feed him once. Razor low, that's the angle from underneath the Piano, and Neko doing more damage, and it's the swing from behind to secure the round. So much aggression in the opening stages of this map.
A great round there from Sengoku, specifically Neko. It just goes to show a single engagement in Rainbow Six can absolutely compound, can roll down that hill, snowball, because we saw that, right? Neko won what should have been an unwinnable fight against Taipon, who was peeking him from the roof. Following that, Neko then found 2 more kills in Library, essentially baiting his teammate who was playing at the big pillar. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's actually a really good skill to be able to bait your teammates if you do it correctly and you don't leave them to die. And Neko knew that. He did it perfectly. He got 2 kills, and FAV Gaming were at a complete loss. Despite a valiant effort from Shin, who somehow just got into Master and found 2 kills on the site, it was nowhere near enough. And Sengoku have shown that their defenses are nothing to be scoffed at on this map.
100%. We now rotate back to really where it all began, dining. It's been a bit of a tug and war, a bit of a seesaw, I think, affair so far between these two. The thing that is just constantly standing out to me, at least, is the amount of just pure aggression from both sides, and so many picks just are blind. People just being taken out and they don't know where it's from, or they don't have any opportunity to put up a decent fight, and that again is just leaning into that story of just relentless aggression. And I mean, at this point, it really is a bit of a trademark of the APAC region and Japan especially. They're not afraid to back down without a fight and go for plays. Yes, there is structure, there is strategy behind these plays, but it's in combination with just extreme levels of confidence and backing in individual ability.
Neko has certainly been the highlight of that this game so far for Sengoku. He's just been taken down very, very low. Must have been an aggressive peek at number 2. I mean, FAV Gaming have read into Sengoku. They're saying, guys, look, if you're going to stick your face in every single window, we are going to pop them.
Not an ideal start for the defense, and now FAV can really just play with their prey a little bit, toy with them. Plenty of time to do so. 122nd available. Rami, though, up a stand. Neko, I thought, could maybe swing, but the double window will be his demise, and it's Razor for 2. Such a powerful position on that rappel. Now Ramu over towards West Main, creeps up to find 1. He does have control of the objective. Now, there is a small window of opportunity here if he can isolate 1s, but there's drones in sight. He's walked over 1, manages to take it out, needs to be mindful of the second Lion charge as well. The E1D will be popped, and Ramu now locked in this position. Very difficult to see him making this cross. Surely Taipon can swing and win this fight. Oh, it's an awkward one. Neither player landing a shot. But now Ramu, his position well and truly has been revealed. Utility dumped on his position. Players able to drop elsewhere to go for the plant. Now Taipon goes in for the kill and finds it. Another good round from FAV.
Yeah, good job from FAV in the 3v1.
Whoa!
It's...
He just deleted Oryx. Center the
I think they knew exactly where he was. In fact, I was going to say, you know, it's important to win your 3v1s. We've seen, I think, who was it? Rufflecopter lost a 3v1 against Kira yesterday.
In the post plant, nonetheless. In
the post plant, and that they ended up losing the map. They lost 5 match points on that map. So, yeah, especially these Japanese teams, they're very playmaking focused. So if you give a player like Ramu the opportunity, didn't Ramu also nearly pull off a 1v5 yesterday as well in their game against Viper? I do quite recall that. So if you give Ramu that chance, he's going to take it. So really well played from FAV. They actually pinched him both times. Not only was Taipon swinging him, like you said, deleted him, but the other 2 FAV players were literally on the other side of that soft wall, ready to pre-fire. Should have Taipon lost that fight. So credit to FAV. They've made it 3-2. Now, if they can run away with the 4-2, they'll be pretty happy. If not, the second half is going to be pretty concerning for the APAC North team of FAV, because Sengoku yesterday against Viper, when they played their deciding map on Chalet, Sengoku won every single attacking round that they played, 4 in a row to polish off the map, and that was after going 3-3 on their defense. This is Sengoku's map pick. They play it very well. If FAV forfeits another round in this half, I think they're going to lose it.
Left before insertion.
A friendly reminder to everyone in chat as well. Hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday. We are following the North qualification matches today here on twitch.tv/Rainbow6. But if you want to go check out the South round 2, currently Team Bliss and Last Dance going at it. You can see that on twitch.tv/CthulhuANZ. They're currently battling it out on Chalet and Cafe Coast to follow if required. Keep in mind as well, later on today in that particular channel, you'll also be able to watch Sharp Esports taking on Rufflecopter as well. The winner of those 2 matches will take on Order and Wildcard respectively. We'll jump back in and follow those tomorrow, but just a reminder that we will only be covering the North qualification matches on this particular channel today.
And tomorrow, of course, we will see the South qualification matches. I'm really eager. A little bit of OS bias, but of course we've got a hell of a lot of Oceanic teams that could punch their way into APAC South, or indeed be eliminated from APAC South in the next 48 hours. So keenly awaiting those results. But first, of course, some very strong Japanese and Korean teams will be going head-to-head for APAC North's final 3 slots. FAV Gaming looking to make this a 4-2 split on their side. It would be huge if they could do so and take a significant advantage on Sengoku's map pick.
poor Neko just can't catch a break. It feels like every second round he's just taking a chunk of damage at the very start and compromising his ability to have an impact. But even as I say that, he still finds a kill. It is a 3 versus 4 as Afro finds one back. He has the diffuser in the hands of that Hibana now, up above in Library. Number 2 with a good position over towards Mezzanine, able to cut off that rotation top Library, also able to cut off a potential rotation from Piano if required. But things slow down, they stabilize. Sengoku, the majority of their players in the objective itself, and Neko is just crawling around down below.
This is really, really good for Sengoku. Man advantage, and yeah, even though Neko is low, that man advantage means so much every single round so far. This man advantage has led to the round win. Rachel's really feeling some pressure now, and with the Hibana pellets opening his wall, his movement is even more restricted. That said, he still has a safe place to sit. Afro, though, a lovely shot. Ican goes down, 40 seconds left, and the 3-on-3 is available for FAV Gaming.
That advantage forfeited, and with Neko low and forced to rotate, FAV now are in a favourable position, but Rachel capitalises 2 versus 2. It's another good trade from FAV, keeping themselves in this round, but they don't have the diffuser, but they can go for kills. Rami, though, he's up above with that diffuser. 20 seconds on the board, though, so quite a bit of time. He needs to be patient, and FAV need to set themselves up perfectly. Rami holds down the line, but Taipon, that is sharp. That is the kind of shot you need to be hitting to winning games.
Oh, and the pre-fire as well. So well read and so well communicated by FAV Gaming. There was a drone on that hatch right next to that diffuser. For whatever reason, Ramo elected not to shoot it. Now, he was playing Vigil, probably trying to bait them in. He was using his gadget so he wouldn't have been visible on the drone, but FAV would have had a really clear idea that he was nearby. Perhaps a misplay from Ramu. He should have shot the drone. Anyone could say, but regardless, FAV Gaming go up 4-2. This means they do have a serious shot here of taking Sengoku's map pick. Sengoku managed 4 attacks, 1 in a row, without losing a single attack yesterday against Team Viper. If Sengoku could do the same here, it would push overtime at the very minimum.
Yeah, at this point in time, it feels so close. We are yet to see the dynamic in this second half. We'll have to see whether or not FAV are strong enough on their defense to collect a couple of rounds and whether or not Sengoku are up to scratch on their attacks. But I think, yeah, what we've seen so far, the momentum has not really been wrestled by either team particularly well. It's been super back and forth, very aggressive and chaotic are probably the terms I would use to characterize this match thus far. And yes, that's relatively expected from 2 of the stronger teams from the Japanese region, but it's still always, I think, very impressive to watch, particularly maybe if you're a viewer from a region other than APAC. This is probably a little bit much to, I guess, digest, but it's a lot of fun. Now, I haven't mentioned it yet, Dev, but I know you will. What objective is this?
The bomb site choice. The bomb site choice. Hey, at least FAV Gaming...
I can't hear you, by the way. So I'm going to assume that you're saying this is basement, and it's a very bad objective.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute on Void. My bad. Look, FAV Gaming, bring the clash, please. So they're trying something a little bit different to what Sengoku was doing, which I like. It means that Sengoku aren't necessarily going to be able to rush like we saw from Viper on this site yesterday. But also, we saw when Sengoku defended this earlier on this map, FAV Gaming really did such a good job on the roam clear. And if you win the roam clear on this site, as long as you have enough time, you should win the round. So Sengoku will likely be focusing on that early on. I really hope FAV Gaming don't lose the opening pick, don't forfeit their too much of an advantage early on. It'd be very concerning if they do.
Well, it could come into fruition shortly, but Ramu doesn't shoot down. The double window does get spotted. Ramu swings, but he doesn't find the kill. The timing there, not quite right for Sengoku, and now number 2 can continue to waste time up above. This is a long way away from the objective. It's a precarious rotation back towards the site itself, but number 2 is going to commit to the cause. Neko elsewhere finds the opener. It's been a strong map for him so far. Shin falls, and that's the roam game for FAV slowly falling apart.
I like this alibi pick though, and number 2 is doing a great job of holding on to reading room. Inside library here, he can hold on. Oh, I didn't realize we actually got K-Razor with the FMG and a shield playing top library stairs. This is such a strong position. He's got such a good gun for it. He can also gas off that double door. This is really nice. I like this. They're kind of borrowing some of the strategies you would typically see on a bar defense and transmuting them onto this basement bomb site.
Ooh, Will Afro with the MP5 not quite having the range nor the accuracy to find that pick. 60 seconds now on the clock. Sengoku with man advantage, but they need to start rolling this towards some pressure on towards the site. Still yet to deal with that clash, and that could be a pain in the backside.
They're inside.
Late round, number 2, though, above Afro as well. The plant, it doesn't get stuck by Racial, instead falls off, intending to find kills. Ramu does find his mark. Razor still in that connecting position. Number 2 up above as well, and Taibon, the clash actually gets in on the action. Razor, though, gets time. The reload not quite on point, but he still finds the kill. Now Icon in the 1 versus 3. Sengoku, they fall apart in the latter stages here of round number 7. They almost got the plant down. They didn't commit. They fell off, and it looked like maybe they'd be able to trade it out, but the aggression from FAV, the roam game, it's too good in this first round of their defense.
Really good start there for Sengoku on their FAV Gaming on their defensive side, and I really love the clash. Like, yes, you mentioned the roam, and the roam was great. Yeah, it helped, but to me, the big difference is that, like, Sengoku saw, okay, there's a good roam, let's just try and hit site hard, and look, they even started planting. FAV Gaming had the information and the pressure, thanks to the clash, that they could actually go and challenge and retake successfully. So honestly, I think that was really down to that element of the strategy from FAV Gaming, and something that maybe Sengoku could look to implement into their own defense of that bomb site, because now we've seen the second time in 2 days that they've lost it down at Snowmobile and Wine Cellar. So FAV Gaming, great start. Now I'm getting concerned for Sengoku. This is very different to the match we saw from them yesterday against Team Viper. They're now up against a much higher echelon of opponent, and well, I don't know what else to say. FAV Gaming, they found themselves a really strong start on Sengoku's map pick.
Yeah, once again, unfortunately, we have had a sound bug, so another quick technical pause, but we'll get back into the action as soon as possible. 5-2 the scoreline, as you can see in the bottom left, and I tend to agree with you. I think it's a bit of dangerous territory now for Sengoku on their map pick to have lost that first round. Not the end of the world necessarily, but I think adding into the equation the fact that it was that particular objective, which statistically, not even just from our own personal points of view, but statistically in competitive seed, is really, really poor. To be able to get that across the line not only gives them that physical lead on the scoreboard, right, but now it's one less objective they need to worry about later on the rotation. FAV, if they play their cards right, they don't have to play that objective ever again. They could be heading us to that second map pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a nice just free round, essentially. It doesn't really sound right to say that, but like you said, it's not a bomb site that you would expect them to repeat. And I wouldn't. I think if Sengoku just stuck to their roam clear, because Sengoku did actually find the opening pick on the roam, like Shin went down the Oryx. If Sengoku had continued to commit to that roam clear, like they knew Alibi was hanging around in library, they just gave up. They tried to exploit site instead. They likely wouldn't have actually known that there was a clash in all likelihood from FAV. So if they instead dedicated to that roam clear, found a significant amount of advantage, then Clash would end up being all alone. I think that if Sengoku finds themselves attacking that bomb site again, they'll be much more comfortable. So FAV, just don't take them back there. Just stick around on the other bomb sites. Bar seems to be next up on the agenda. A bit surprised not to see Kitchen as of yet. But overall, Bar, Office, and Kitchen seem to be pretty even these days.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Definitely does feel like FAV are not afraid to go to objectives that other teams might not be as particularly confident on. I'm liking some of the operators that have been selected here by FAV as well. Frost, namely, is always exciting to watch and can be a little bit tricky to deal with if attackers are unaware. Those hog mats can catch those attackers off guard and make vault-ins particularly precarious around some of these entry points around the map, which can be critical as often you are jumping into dangerous situations and need guns up as opposed to guns down looking at those mats. Also as well, the Mutant Mozzie combo as well being employed by FAV, and I'm anticipating that we might, off the back of that, continue to see a little bit of that offside aggression, right, and force Sengoku into making those tough choices. Do they commit to the roam clear, or do they get caught maybe in the middle like they did last round?
How much aggression are we going to see from FAV on their defense? It looks like Shin's just waiting for the repel sound here. He's going to try and time a C4 landing on the window. Doesn't look like anyone's going to repel on those solar windows as of yet, so we won't find anything. The Sengoku, a couple of operator changes. The main one here, the Blackbeard coming out for Yahun. We did see it yesterday. We questioned it a lot, but he ended up doing very well, and it hasn't done well at all this game. Only 1 kill for him, only 1 kill as well for Ican. So Sengoku have a couple of players individually struggling on their engagements. If the Blackbeard can help with that, then I say go for it.
That's a hologram, no need to be alarmed. Ramu safely seeks refuge outside of that double window. Ican potentially setting up for a push over towards trophy side. So Sengoku looking to converge on the particular objective from multiple angles. Neko the first jump in. Once again goes for that prone angle that we saw a little bit earlier, I believe, from Afro. Doesn't find the mark on this particular occasion, but good perceived pressure from above.
Neko getting in here is very unusual. Usually, you would not expect him to be able to jump inside. There'd be someone holding through the vertical line. But now he's got such an advanced position. If he can find a pick here, almost takes down Taipon. This could be huge, but still the Jaeger survives to live another day. Neko could try and nade it, but doesn't want to stop holding this angle and let him pass through. Just dealing some tiny bits of damage piece by piece. The nade will surely finish off the job. Indeed, it's just a down now, Taipon. They'll know that by confirming it on drone, and now Sengoku will try to force FAV back.
Afro, though, is on the cross. This is a good position looking through that connecting box room. If he goes unchecked, he could do some damage, but I don't think that will be the case. Taipon now down elsewhere.
Oh, he's inside.
Have control of the site. Ican says, g'day, finds that kill. Now it's effectively a 2 versus 5 with Taipon still on the deck. Afro swings wide, and that's a good position on the vert. Can he deny the plant? The answer is no. It will be stuck, and retaking this particular objective is damn near impossible.
That said, not great post-plant positions here from Sengoku, so if Fav and Shin and Afro play themselves right, they could make it work. Shin's found a double, and now they're also going to get the revive. It's now a 3 versus 1, Guz, and Rayseal's going to have to do it all from this external window.
He has refuge outside, though. Will it be enough? The triple secured for Shin, but immediately traded there by Racial from this position. The AK-12 so strong. Look at that timer. 3 seconds. They need to jump on that kit. Racial, though, plays it perfectly. Afro jumps on, but now he can't get off. Racial needs to swing. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Will the timing be on? It is just with a second left. Sengoku luck in that round.
1 versus 3 post-plant from Racial. I mentioned it. Sengoku did not have the best post-plant positions. It was an unfortunate sacrifice of the way that they managed to pull the rug out from under FAV Gaming. Sengoku went for a very unexpected push. They jumped into the site. One player actually, I believe it was Ican, who got the 2 or 3K there for Sengoku. He just walked in through bar. FAV Gaming were caught unawares, but Sengoku were then caught out of position. Fav played it so well to get it back to that 3v1, but then Racial, he knew exactly what he had to do, and Fav wasted so much time getting it into that 3v1 that they couldn't finish off Racial there. So excellent play there from Racial, and well, in the end, a 5 rounds to 3 scoreline. It's still not great for Sengoku. Fav Gaming, 1 round off match point. Sengoku should be favored here on their attack, but it has proven to be very, very difficult for them against these strong Fav defenses.
Yeah, it's still not in the greatest of positions, but that was a big round to get across the line, and the fashion in which Sengoku achieved it, whilst but maybe a little bit sketchy in the dying seconds, was still quite strong. They managed to get in towards the objective. They cleared out up above quite efficiently. They got the diffuser down, and then in the post-plant, Racial showed really, really good composure in his decision-making in selecting those targets. With about 15 seconds left on that defuse, was really, really smart, really, really well played, and he'll be happy with that. Whoa, did I just see that? Popped the hatch? What?
What? Bandit battery on top?
Bandit battery on the hatch?
That's some year 2 stats, mate. That's what people actually used to do before Kaid existed. People would put bandit batteries on hatches on bank in open area, because back then Hibana you could only put 6 pellets on at a time, right? So if you have a Hibana who's kind of asleep at the wheel and just trying to go for it, I've seen that happen in Pro League. People would just shoot their Hibana pellets into a bandit battery because they wouldn't check. They would never have thought that a hatch could be electrified. So yeah, a bit of a throwback there. I guess K-Raze is like, hey, I've got 1 spare, may as well do it.
If Racial falls for that, I think he should hand in his ace license and never play him again.
Bomb located by attackers.
Mate, you'd be surprised.
We'll have to wait and see where exactly those Summers are deployed. The only hard breach available, and that again limiting Sengoku's ability here to maybe open up some of these angles, but FAV as well weren't too keen on playing multiple hard breaches either, so we'll see how that plays out. The shock drone from the Twitch. Could hear you oohing a little bit there, James. Looking to clear some of that utility over towards Trophy, and that will aid in potentially clearing that staircase, especially later in the round.
Do you like a good ooh? Neko seems to make me say it very frequently. Very keenly watching this bathroom window. Ooh, here's the Blackbeard. Sengoku have taken a lot of map control, making a lot of progress. Haven't found any headway in the kills department. Haven't found that opening pick as of yet. Despite them finding very strong positions and engagement number 2. What a jump out. And Sengoku do not punish.
That's the level of commitment we've come to expect from these two teams, and number 2 in particular, playing very well thus far. The Blackbeard now being employed by Yahoon, and I guess when you go 1 and 6, maybe that's the play, right? Offer a little bit of additional protection and maybe create that buffer if your aim is not quite on point at the moment. Icon though, a delayed trade back onto Taipon, keeping this round super close.
Time's ticking though. 45 seconds left now. This is a bit of a strange one from Shin, and Yahoon gets gifted a pick. Read that perfectly, though he did take quite a bit of damage. He finds a second one. You hear the Blackbeard's shield break, but it was not enough to take his life. Now a 3v2, Sengoku in the advantage. FAV Gaming, they're slipping. Their control of the bomb site is just about nothing. Number 2 has to go huge on this flank.
He's got the perfect flank. He hasn't been spotted, but he won't be able to deny the plant. Will number 2 be able to cut them down at the knees when they run out of the objective, or do they hold firm? I think Sengoku are looking to play in towards the objective itself and establish these crossfires, and that could play into the hands of K-Razor if he looks to the right angle at the right time, needs to look to his left. Icon holding down the line, swings wide with the F2 to find that pick. Number 2 though, here's the flank coming into play. Can he win it out though? Still needs to find 2 picks, and Yahoon is low, so it's on the cards. But look at these angles from Sengoku. So elusive, but number 2 still finds the angle, but it's still not enough. And Sengoku holding on in the post.
Another attack for Sengoku, but I will say another close round. An almost retake there from the 2 FAV players. A good effort. Sengoku really turned that around mainly when Yahoon, who we're ripping into a little bit for playing the Blackbeard and only having 1 kill, stepped it up and found a couple. One of them was just punishing Shin, FAV, his aggression, jumping outside, so a good read from Yahoon there. I'm not sure where the second one came through, but it was that point when Sengoku really flipped the switch. They had some really advanced positions. They had a breach. They moved into sight. Number 2 could have potentially denied that plant had he been a little bit faster on his flank, but he was just being cautious, watching for all of the positions that Sengoku could be watching out for him. Unfortunately, didn't have enough info to go with conviction. Now Sengoku are catching up, are only 1 round behind, but still FAV are only 1 round off of map point. And considering that this is Sengoku's map pick, which I've said quite a few times already, and FAV have had such a strong showing on both their attack and their defense, I will say, even if it's just 1 round of the 3, FAV are definitely still in control here.
No doubt we have a close one at our hands here, but a match that wasn't close over in the APAC South region, so block your ears if you don't want to hear this result, but it has just come through. Team Bliss have taken down the Last Dance on their map pick, which was also Chalet 7-2, so very dominant from the lads in OS. And they'll be looking to lock out that series again, keeping in mind if they win that best of 3, they'll take on Order in the qualification match. Friendly reminder as well, you can watch that stream, watch that match over on Cthulhu ANZ on Twitch.
The Bliss boys are actually in a gaming house at the moment, or at least their gaming facilities. I don't think it's a house necessarily, more of a gaming paradise place where all of them are hanging out, having a good time. They had some Wagyu beef K-barbecue, I think, last night. Oda was sending me some photos. It looked amazing. They've got their coach there, Sprucey, as well. So they're having a great time and taking Last Dance down on their own map pick is pretty impressive. I expect Bliss to make it all the way through to the match against Order, and probably even to go through and making it to APAC South next year. They have been a very prominent team from the Earth region that we've kept an eye on all year long. But for now, Sengoku very much fit a similar storyline. They have been playing all year in the Japan League. They even placed higher than FAV Gaming in that tournament. But they're struggling to keep up now in the match that matters.
FAV do go back down to base. Was not expecting that. Could have gone to the other tertiary site, but instead doubling down on their efforts down below, despite this site in competitive Siege really not being up to scratch. They did prove themselves, though, on their first attempt and got it across the line.
Don't you hate it when you accidentally shoot the Alibi Prisma?
Yeah.
Not good. Ramu's found himself a really advanced position. It looks like Sengoku are dedicating the roam clear. Last time when FAV won this, that was the big critique I had. Number 2, his position exposed. Ramu's got a nade he could even use to force him out. Might not need it. Lands the shot with the ARX, and now with that, Sengoku have the man advantage and map control with it.
60 seconds on the clock. These defenders looking to get back towards site. Afro with an aggressive rotation through backstore. Uses an impact nade to get down those main stairs. And now FAV could try to consolidate these positions, lean into the clock, and try to choke Sengoku out.
The thing is, Sengoku really need right now 2 things. Firstly, vertical pressure. They need to make sure they breach as much of the roof above the bomb site as possible. They also need lines of sight onto the site itself. Opening up this wall where Taipon is standing would be absolutely huge. But FAV actually have some really good anchor positions. Usually it's a struggle to have good anchor positions on this side, but the shields will certainly help, and that pick will certainly help.
20 seconds left. Sengoku under pressure, but Yahoon again on the Blackbeard to step up. Now Razor's close with the SMG, but doesn't have his exact location. Doesn't have the shotgun either, and gets punished. Yahoon absolutely popping off now, looking to contest the clash. Taipon taken low, forced to use the SMG to find that pick. Now Afro, he's been yet to get in on the action over towards Con. Racial looking to try and hunt him down, and he does. Now it's the clash in the 1v2, but Sengoku able to claim that round.
Second time's the charm for Sengoku. FAV Gaming had a fantastic interpretation of that oh so highly critiqued Snowmobile and Wine Cellar bomb site, and it managed to get them a win on the first attempt, but Sengoku will not be fooled twice. They've now made 3 attacks in a row successful and brought it back to breakpoint 5-5. FAV Gaming have let it slip a hell of a long way. They've been failing constantly to lock in this match point, and Sengoku are not out of this yet. It is their map pick. They are the ones who need to lock this in. And they've just been improving with more attacks that go by.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
As this game continues to evolve, it, at least from my perspective, is only getting more and more challenging to see the end result. I'm expecting overtime. This game, this map, thus far is screaming for it. It's just been so back and forth, and Sengoku, to their credit, despite allowing their opponents to gain a little bit of a lead, have brought that back with confidence as well. Especially Basement, they've been able to shake off that first attack, claim back that particular objective, and that's going to do their confidence a world of good. And FAV now, they're scraping to try and find something in response. Round number 11, when the scores are 5-5, is almost always one of my favorites in any match, right? Both teams desperately looking to get that map point. It's such a big advantage.
The real concern here is for FAV. They've just tried 3 different bomb sites and failed every single one of them. They go to the 4th and only remaining unattempted bomb site for them this map. Master Office. Sengoku, though, they've really found themselves in these last couple rounds. They found a renewed confidence. Neko has such a good position, almost loses his life. Lands 1 single bullet onto Afro. Sengoku need to be ultra cautious. Any aggression from FAV Gaming. I will say, someone who's come to life last couple rounds, Yahoon, ever since we started ripping into him with the Blackbeard, he's had some hugely impactful kills on him.
For sure. I think that Blackbeard has given him renewed confidence to go into some of these engagements, right, and actually commit to the cause.
I'm pretty sure he's had his life saved at least twice from
Yeah.
Blackbeard Shield as well. So, man's walking around with a four-leaf clover in his pocket.
For sure. Neko's been definitely one to watch on some of these entries. The stats might not necessarily reflect it on first glance, but on the entry, he's been causing a bit of a ruckus. Not always with success, but there have been occasions where he's been able to open up the round for his team. Elsewhere, the hard breaches will get to work. Racial looking to open up the office double reinforced wall, but one of K-Razor's mute jammers just halting progress here a little bit for the attack.
You see the first detonation of the Selma has gone off, but not that second one. Should be fairly easy, there you go, to shoot off that mute jammer as soon as they get in the position, but Afro peeks off of that information, and Yahoon, the Blackbeard, will not save him there.
Afro now, the pressure behind that half wall starting to mount. He needs to hold it. Number 2 elsewhere, though, will aid in the cause. Neko's pushed in, though. But unfortunately, the rest of the team has fallen. In fact, they have fallen. 1 versus 4. He's stuck prone in Piano, and FAV Gaming, just like that, will take the round and take map point.
Another explosive attack from Sengoku. It all went down in the space of about 25 seconds as soon as FAV found that opening pick, but now they found themselves match point on the opening map. Sengoku's choice and FAV's advantage now a single round, and well, they'll be just a single map away from saving their APAC North spot for 2022.
Sengoku, this is their map pick as well. Not out of the realms of possibility, though, to push overtime. We get back to basement. Oh, okay. That is very spicy. 3rd time we'll see FAV attempt this particular objective. The first time they attempted it on their very first defense back in round 7.
Attackers need to locate.
It was a good round for them, but unfortunately their most recent attempt didn't quite go their way. Sengoku overwhelming the objective after clearing number 2 on the roam. They only had about 50 seconds really to commit to the execute, but Sengoku still made it work. So I think heading into this round, they'll be leaning on that result, leaning into that confidence builder, and looking to really push for OT.
If I was Sengoku right now, I would be telling you, look, mate, I know you love the Blackbeard, but can you please learn to play Thermite? Because if he was Thermite and FAV Gaming keep clicking basement, you just, in the first 10 seconds of the round, you go up and you breach with Thermite, that Snowmobile wall. Ace has all of his Selmas, also later in the round, you get Thermite to open up the hatch in lobby, fireplace that leads down into connector. And then Racehill's got all of his Selmas to breach open the wine cellar walls. Yes, Sengoku managed to win without Thermite last time. They just relied on the Ace, and more specifically, just by entering. Particularly Yahoon on the Blackbeard, I will say, despite me telling him that they should probably pick off of it. He was a huge playmaker in the previous round, but it's just, it's a scary thing to rely on, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Compromising that hard breach utility is a tricky decision.
You know what you could even do? Like, even if Finka just brings secondary hard breach instead of the grenades, I'm pretty sure that they keep juggling what she's got. I'm pretty sure she still has secondary hard breach as an option instead of grenades. Even just that, you'd still be able to keep the Blackbeard. You would lose one set of nades, which is kind of annoying, but at least then you would have just a bit more flexibility.
We now eagerly await for Yahoon to hit a 4K in this round, as that's probably what's going to happen after we curse him. Always happened last time. It did happen. He popped off. Not quite a 4K, but not far off. Racial now, though, over towards West Main. He's looking to open up these walls uncontested. Right. And this is why this objective is so bad. How can you stop that from getting opened? You almost can't, and that's why it's so weak.
Banned? Yeah, absolutely. Like,
even with him on the board, it's easy to shoot out or projectile, right?
It's so true. Look, FAV Gaming, if they can make this work, that'll be fantastic. But I will say one thing going for them. A minute and a half down, a minute and a half remaining, and Sengoku haven't cleared roamers yet. Now, they're very aware of it, and they're not overextending. In fact, Sengoku have Ramu, just lurking, hunting for these roamers. But if Sengoku try and execute and they're not really watching their flanks, there are still players like Shin at large and Mezzanine. It will stab them in the back.
This has been one of the quietest rounds so far, as I think both teams are maybe a little bit cautious in losing that first pick, as the effects could be detrimental. Ramuh still crouch walking up above. What can he achieve from that position?
I mean, if he kills Shin here, it would be huge. There's no one actually... Oh, no one on the default cam at the top of library stairs. Shin, though, he's tucked in the corner. Ramuh has to check. He doesn't know, Ramuh! You've got to check your corners!
Oh,
Shin
no.
surely would have heard it. And as Ramuh walks past, shoots out that cam, number 2 will also be aware Shin now has the position to essentially win this map for FAV Gaming.
And there we go, 2 swift blows and Sengoku with no answer. 20 seconds on the clock. They need to win out this round, and it's a huge entry there from Yahoo. And he manages to find 2. There's the pop-off that we wanted to see, but Afro looks to maybe deny the play, but even he can't do anything. Typon left stranded with the shield in hand as Shin rotates over towards blue. Can they deny the plant? I think Racial will be able to stick. They do, but now he's left in the 1 versus 2. The dynamic shifts once again, and Racial is dropped. FAV will be able to counter defuse the kit, and they are now 1 map closer to retaining their spot in APAC North.
A phenomenal tight contest in the final round. We questioned it time and time again. Why are they defending that bomb site? Well, FAV demonstrated that even when times get tough, they will stick to their guns. And a fantastic showing from them. Fantastic flank and a clutch from Shin, as well assisted by Typon. Excellent work from them. They are showing their dominance here against their local rivals.